Welcome back, friend. If you are new here, I am so grateful that my interpretation has bumped into you. So today's conversation is going to be around the July 12th, which is today, the transits, and we're just going to move ahead a few days. First, I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Leann Wolff. I am an international human design school and a BG5 business professional. So what I get to do every day is I get to geek out on human design, and I get to coach people all over the world to literally stand firm in their frequency so that they can absolutely watch the beauty of this meat suit tread and navigate on this human design, or on this planet, and not have a life of no interference, to not interfere in that mentally, not take on the transits, not take on anybody else's frequency, not take on the global, frequency that's taking place right now, take it personally, do any of that. It's to literally stand in your frequency and just let your meat suit navigate. Okay. So let's get into the meat and potatoes today, because I believe that, just at not that long ago, at 10:10, the sun and the earth changed. Love it. Love being right on that cusp as we move from the energy of cycles that was there for the last week, and we're moving into this cross of the Maya. Well, what does the Maya really do? The cross of the Maya, really what it does is it languages our inner truth. As you see here, the 62 is about language. The 61 is our inner truth, okay? So it's languaging our inner truth. So what I want to do is I always want to bring you the highest aspect so that you can just begin to witness, so that you're not in the muck and the mire. So again, I want to go to that overarching, that cross of planning, right? It is breaking down. It is, happening. We can see it all over the world, And what human design is bringing us is this ability to see it mechanically take place. It's not for us, those of us that are completely awake. Those of us that are completely awake and can witness this stuff, it's not for us to get involved in. It's breaking down. No matter who's in charge, no matter, what leader's there, what leader isn't there, none of that matters, because it is breaking down. And it's moving us to this autonomous zone, where this autonomy of who we are is going to rise up. Okay? It's going to rise up out of all this destruction, chaos, all of that that's going to happen, okay? And as we walk through the year 2020, you guys have seen me hammer in on how important the transiting program is for us right now. It is fully empowering us. It is fully supporting us. And it is fully sharing its wisdom with us. And 2020 is a year that is more than profound. Because it is literally cradling us, okay? Now, we can look at this, again, two different ways. You can look at this and say, oh, you're being conditioned to do blah, 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 blah. I look at it and go, let's go to the highest value, okay? So let's begin. Just moments ago, not even an hour, we moved into this writing across of the mile. We're in a first line day. What is that first line day? Well, let's investigate. Let's get deep. Let's go introspective. So the energy today is to, go introspective and really go, how do I language my inner truth? Can I language my inner truth? And again, this isn't to take on the conditioning, but it is to witness your own frequency, languaging your own inner truth. So that what can happen? So that you can share that inner truth and empower other people. Because the transit is saying, listen, let's be aware, right? Let's come to this place of awareness. Let's begin to witness and recognize how we're being invited into the future. Because that's really what the logical collective side is doing. It's inviting us into the future. Logical collective, there is absolutely the only thing that's on this side over here is projected channels. So it's all about invitation. It's inviting us into the future. However, if we are absolutely clueless to our own inner truth, what's going to happen is that we're totally going to take on all the opinions of somebody else. We see this I do. I recognize this deeply, that, one set of opinions is just, hammering in on us right now to say, you got to go this way. This is the way it's going. Well, when we pull ourselves back out to that 30,000 foot view, the cross of planning is coming to a close. There is no this way or that way. It is your inner truth and your frequency that is designed to navigate on this planet. So all the opinions that are floating around, all, go this way for the future, go that way for the future. What the program is asking us is, can you recognize that? This is an invited channel. Can you recognize how, the organizing aspect of moving us into the future may or may not be healthy for your frequency? It is inviting you to come to your own inner truth and your own awareness. That's what it's inviting you into. It's inviting you into recognizing these things. Now, for those people that are not awake, hopefully, hopefully that's not you that I'm speaking to. Right, in this moment, the transits can be, all this pressure and headaches, and you're puking out things out of your throat that, shouldn't be spoken about because there's all this pressure and you just got to get this pressure out. Well, I don't want you to live like that. I want you to live in the highest aspect of your frequency and recognize how this transiting program is literally here, inviting us into awareness. It is inviting us into recognizing the future is changing. The future is changing. We are moving from the cross of planning over to the cross of the sleeping phoenix and the cross of penetration, so that we can penetrate deeply into who we are. And what does, logic always looks into the future. This isn't about past garbage. So, what are these very, very preponderance of the small? What are these very small, minute details of your own inner truth that you're going to be able to recognize as this transit, popped in just moments ago, and it's going to be there until July 18th. The transit is saying, be introspective today. Now, I'm not saying be conditioned and, you got to do this. No, I'm just saying it's supporting you and empowering you to do this. If it is correct, your physical body will navigate and it will do what it needs to do. Again, the individual energy, it's always mutative, but it's also always in a pulse. So all of a sudden, the pulse of that mutative energy is there. However, we may or may not ever know our own inner truth, because individuals are here to know, but sometimes they're also here not to know. So I want you to play around with that and just watch. What are you being invited into? You know, if you're here on my YouTube channel, I invite you every single day to literally, well, I shouldn't say every single day, when I do my videos and those bumping into my energy, and the energy that I put out there constantly while I'm creating content is, don't get caught in the muck and the mire, because none of that is you. None of that is you. Recognize that awareness is there. You're going to navigate towards awareness or not, depending on your frequency, period. So the 61, again, I have said this so many times, is so deeply empowering us to drop into our own inner truth. It is empowering, and again, you get to navigate there or not. So the earth today, you know, it's grounding us. It's grounding us in our own inner truth. Can you feel that? Can you sense it? Can you sense that all of a sudden, you know, there was this awareness that took place today that was more grounded than it ever has been? But 61, if you see here, it's also in Jupiter. Jupiter is our own personal law and our protection. Oh. So the program is empowering us to use our own inner truth as protection against the breaking down of this cross of planning. Because it is breaking down. So the 61 is literally saying, you know what? Your own inner truth will protect you from the chaos and the distraction that's happening. But also, Pluto's there. And Pluto is saying, inner truth actually gives you your own transformation, your own truth. This is psychology. Oh, okay. So here we are in this really, really profound transit. And all of the people that are asleep are saying, oh, I have a headache today. I have all of this migraine. I have, you know, all of this pressure. And then they go take an aspirin. And then they numb out on Netflix. The program is literally empowering us to drop into our own inner truth when it's correct. So the other thing I want to, you know, walk through is understanding how the nodal configuration is showing up for us as well. And anything, you know, the love gates that come out of the identity center. So the 25, the 46, the 15, and the 10. This is about loving, right? This is the cross, the right angle cross of the vessel of love. This is about loving. And we can totally see on this planet, there is virtually a very little loving happening right now. You know, we're pitted against each other. Should we wear masks? Shouldn't we wear masks? You know, should we take a vaccine? Should we not take a vaccine? Donald Trump is ruining our world or not. You know, we should be in lockdown. We shouldn't be in lockdown. There's all of this diversity. And within that, there is a ton of hatred happening versus loving, absolutely deeply loving. That humanity has this diversity on our planet. That diversity is assisting us with our awareness. That diversity is assisting us with our future movement. Okay? So remember that those loving energies are here, you know, literally sharing and empowering us if we're able to drop into it. You know, if we can get away from the distraction, if we can get away from the chaos, it is there. It is going to literally allow us to do that. So this is, the 16 that has been here as well for a while. The 16 is all about identifying with a future movement. It's identifying with talent. It's identifying with, that logical process. So what the transit is saying is, hey, Venus is all about values. So what are we valuing right now on the planet? What can we be enthusiastic about that is going to move us into the future? Well, for me, it is the autonomy of, the individual that's going to step into its own frequency. That really is, that's bringing me lots of enthusiasm. So what are you identifying with right now? What again, it's inviting you to recognize, what are you identifying with so that the future can be vital? Again, all of these things are for you to be able to recognize it. Now, something that I've talked about lots, again, is the 60 in the root center. So this is all about limitation and recognizing each one of us have our own frequency. And if the conditioned mind is running the show, we're constantly trying to push against that limitation. However, if we literally can be in the flow of our own frequency, we can drop into that limitation, accept it, and then transcend it. Now, how do you transcend it? Well, you become the witness. You let the body navigate. Because then what happens is you meet exactly what you need to meet. Sometimes there's going to be a few challenges. That's okay. It isn't like, again, like I've said before, rainbows, unicorn farts, all of that. That's not a reality. But we can drop into it and go, oh, okay, this is my trajectory. This is exactly what I'm supposed to meet. But almost 100% of what you're going to learn online through the spiritual community is telling you to push and push and push against those limitations. Design says when you accept it, you transcend it. Because no longer is the mental plane putting up all these brick walls and these hurdles. Nah. The frequency, places you in places where, yeah, there might be a speed bump here or there, but the path is there. So you transcend the limitation by accepting it. And it comes through your own inner truth. Now, so many, the mental plane on that is like, right? Now, I have no limitations. I came here to be spiritual, blah, blah, blah. That's all happening on the mental plane, and I totally get that. We're each designed in our own meat suit, and we're each designed to be perfect in that meat suit. Now, the other gate that I have said over and over and over numerous times, this 22, this gate of grace. For me, really what that is it's going to be here till 2021. And it dropped in January 29th. So we got like a long time, like a year or more for this illusion, spirituality. So for me, I see 22 as this attentive energy, right? This attentive energy that's there. And the attentive energy that is bringing us a shit ton of mutation. Again, individual. But I also see it as like, this is the grace of God. God is saying, like, let's drop into your own inner truth. Let's accept your limitation, Let's recognize where are we going into the future. Well, none of us are here to control that. None of us. And it's all good, right? It's all very, very good. And during this, July 1st, this pops out July 21, Mercury. Are you able to keep still in this? Are you able to, in amongst all the chaos and distraction, are you able to understand again, this is logic, right? Are you able to understand, and that's what the logical side does, it wants to understand it. Can you understand exactly what's happening? Can you understand that the bigger picture here is nothing that you can control? So this isn't about, this conspiracy theory or that conspiracy theory or an election or, a financial system that is, collapsing. It isn't about any of that. Our future direction is autonomy. And can you literally, drop into that and be still inside of that logical movement? So again, lots of very interesting, especially today, right? Because now take a look here. We have logic. Sorry, I don't like it when it does that. So the 52 is logic. The 15 is logic. The 16, the 62, the 17. And then we also have just individuality and logic today. So we have the 61, the 24, the 10, the 60, the 51, and the 22. So there's so much empowerment happening in the transits. It's insane, you guys. And then understanding that empowerment is literally moving us into the future. Can you grasp that? And not get caught up in it, not trying to figure it out, not let the mental plane pull you into places that you don't need to be in. And then look at the quarters here. When we look at the quarters, the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter has nothing, and it hasn't had anything for a very long time. Why? Because we are learning what is bonding, what is duality. We've been in this cross of planning, and that the contract and the deal and the bargain and the duality of all of that has locked us in to bargains with the other. Completely locked us in for 400 plus years. So now, what are we learning about this bond with the other person? Can we literally accept them, be with them? It doesn't mean that, you have to love everybody. No, our profiles literally tell us who we are designed to, resonate or have harmony with. The base of our psychology literally tells us who's on our fractal, who's not on our fractal. And it isn't good or bad. It's about accepting that diversity and being able to bond and let the meat suit literally navigate on this planet and bond with who's correct and who's not correct. So the whole time this transit has been happening this year, the activity over here in the third quarter of bonding and duality has been like literally, zero. Because it isn't about that. It's not about the other person right now. It is about you How are you taking on the mutative energy? Are you dropping into consciousness? And can you love your physical body and your form as we walk through this mutation and as you become more conscious? This isn't about the other. Yes, we are living with the other. We are interacting with the other. I totally get that. But the program is saying to us, you know what? We've been locked into all of these contracts. We've been locked into them for 400 plus years. You know, maybe it's time to renegotiate some of your contracts. Maybe it's time to, you know, recognize the bargains that are happening. And do it from autonomy. Do it from the correctness of your frequency. Do it from your inner authority. Because that's what the transit is really, truly empowering us to do. So again, you know, I can go off on a tangent and really talk. I don't want you to see this as conditioning you and pulling you off your game. I want you to see this, you know, beauty of this mandala and recognize that it's here empowering us and sharing with us what the future really can hold when we drop into our own frequency. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Going forward, you know, the next changes are going to happen on the 14th, where, you know, all of a sudden we have this biting through. So what you'll notice is that all of a sudden there's going to be lots of people trying to control things on the planet. And what it really is introducing you to is 21 is all about care management. You know? And it is supporting us to care for ourselves. Because we haven't cared for ourselves in a very long time. And also, the 16 pops out, and then all of a sudden we come to the mirror of it in the throat center of the 35. So now that we've looked at, the transit has said, you know, here, look at our future movement and literally recognize the value of that. Now let's look at our past and recognize, you know, have we progressed? What's the impact of our human experiential way? And have we progressed or have we regressed? So play around with that. These transits, the mybodygraph.com, this is Jovian Archive, the International Human Design School, BG5, mybodygraph.com. This is Ra's legacy. And there's lots and lots and lots of incorrect information out there. So use Ra's information and drop into Ra's information and understand that he had to teach us the conditioning so that we could drop into the beauty of all of this. Now we're in the beauty phase. We are in the beauty of understanding these mechanics. So play with it, love it, you know, watch it happen, watch the conditioning field, and then watch how your frequency either walks through and accepts and takes advantage of the energy, or is the mental plane trying to condition you. So you just watch yourself navigate. Watch the meat suit walk on this planet. That's what it's all about. All right, until next time, thank you.